This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Right out of the door!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Because I'm the Mark and I'm awesome!
The Guru.
Today I'm going to break it down for all you simpleton sweat hogs listening out there in Can Crusher Nation. I don't mean to come out here week after week and toot my own horn, but toot.
And the English Professor.
It is I, the English professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke, the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
And welcome back. Yeah, guys, we took a week off, and it's my fault. But welcome back to Can Crushers. In studio with me is a glorious guru, Chad, and in his luxury, dwelling is office. Is the English professor. Guys, typing away.
No, you forgot John's, updated $2.5 million computer he got.
He did get a Mrs. English Professor came through. Mrs. English.
I knew it wasn't John.
No, not at all.
I had nothing to do with it, believe me.
Yeah, and it works great. It's amazing. We took a week off last week just to take a break. We were always transparent on this. It really was to take a break. My mindset wasn't there. I could have gave shit about wrestling last week, and it was just to give us a break. It really is. It was nothing else. We are going to cover SummerSlam 95, as we said 2 weeks ago, so that's going to be our middle section. We got a lot to go through. So my whining, pissing, and complaining. I'm over. I'm in a better state of mind. We're ready to go. Chad can't kill a fucking thing in the woods, so that kind of sucks.
Hey, I'm getting exercise.
That's about it.
It.
I want you to get more than that, because I don't have any deer in this house, douchebag. And the English professor, you're coming off a little bit of an injury as well. Yeah. And how was your grappling? Because we didn't talk about that either.
Okay, yeah, yesterday.
That's legit. We didn't talk about.
Yeah. Yesterday, it's hard to fail the test. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. But I got my blue belt yesterday.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and you failed anyway. So
no, I did not. I got my blue belt yesterday in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I have 2 belts now. I'm like the Ultimate Warrior. At WrestleMania 6, where he had 2 belts.
You're not as good as Aaron Stevens, though, yet.
Not yet, no.
And he's definitely not Becky 2 belts either.
No.
Okay.
Right.
No.
She's a lot better looking than I am.
All right. So we got a mash pash, and that's really not even the right saying, but a hosh posh or whatever. We have a conglomerate.
Mash.
Yeah, we have a lot of shit to talk about.
Shit show.
A shit show. Yep. In this first segment, what random stuff do you guys want to bring up first that we didn't get to touch on last week because Mark was taking a nap?
For me, last week on Raw, I realized how far the women's division has not come, or the steps back that it's taken. It's regressed. That tag team match. Was it Lana and Natalya against Dana Brooke, right? And Mandy Rose.
Right.
And
Go ahead, John.
No, you're thinking this week's. He's talking last week's yet.
Yeah.
the Lacey Evans, and that was in that match.
That was this past Monday.
Oh, see. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's all right. I'm 2 weeks ago. That match was so bad. It hurt my feelings watching that. It really did. Now, it's performance art, okay? It's theater, and may I say, I know a little something about that. I've had some important auditions. Obviously, I never made it big time. That's why I'm on this show. You're welcome, Mark.
Wait, that's a backhanded compliment to the show, then.
Well, I mean, had I gotten The Sopranos, do you think I'd be on Can Crushers right now? In fairness.
Dude, in 30 years of knowing each other, you better have been, you douche. At least a spot show.
My contract would have allowed.
Wow.
But, so my point is, the easiest choice is usually the best choice. So if I can walk from point A to point B, that's what I'll do. Why would I cartwheel from point A to point B? My point is, when Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke did a double cartwheel just to go kick Lana in the face, when they could have just walked up to her and kicked her in the face. If somebody stumbles out of Jordan's, Mark, are you and Chad going to go cartwheel up to the guy and kick him in the face?
Yes.
You're going to go kick him in the face.
I'd like to be able to do a cartwheel in the first place.
Right. Which, yeah, none of us can. It's just, it's such, it doesn't make any sense. It tells a terrible story. I want to like Mandy Rose. Her father's Italian, and he owns a deli in the Bronx that sells fresh mozzarella by the pound. So I want to love her, but I can't. Not in a shitty match like that. And then after the match, when Natalya dumps Lana, we can't be partners anymore. And she starts crying. You're a grown-ass woman. And this is how you handle your business? You're going to cry because your partner... Hulk Hogan didn't cry when Paul Orndorff clotheslined him. It's just... It was terrible. It set the women's division back.
You want to bring up some things as well. I couldn't not... I agree.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Well, we had talked about this off air. First thing... with the draft stuff, the exchanging the tag team titles.
That was bullshit.
I was so legitimately fucking pissed, even though hardly any titles nowadays matter in WWE. That was just more of a slap in the face to teams that were great before. I was thinking Samoans, Putski and Santana, Morales and San Martino.
Arn and Tully,
the Moondogs. You could go back so far. I thought that was bullshit. And it was like literally fuck Vince. That was fuck Vince number 1 on that. And what was the second one? There was a Retribution. Why in the hell are you going to draft a fucking faction that's trying to tear your thing down? For one. Why are you going to draft them? Why wouldn't the smart fucking person use them on both shows to cause havoc? That would have been the smarter choice.
Well, we'll talk more about Retribution when we get to the third segment about them as well, because I have a few things that I want to say about them, because
to Chad's point, do you guys remember Rick Rude was United States champion and he was scheduled to defend against Nikita Koloff? I can't remember the pay-per-view, but he demanded a world title match, which they gave him, but the U.S. title still had to be defended. I think Rude was either going to wrestle Simmons or Sting. I can't remember who the world champion was, but they put Vader in his place to defend his United States title, knowing that if Vader lost, Rude would lose his belt. And even that, just taking that belt from Rude and giving it to Vader for one match, it made us uneasy, Mark. We're like, oh, man, just be careful. You guys are treading here on some stupid shit. This switching of the belts was just so blatantly disgusting. It just total disregard for any championship or any value a championship has.
Yeah, why wouldn't anybody just switch titles now? I don't want to be the IC champion. I want to be the U.S. champion. So Bobby Lashley and who the hell is the IC champion? Sami Zayn. Why don't they just switch right now? I want to just do it. Let's switch them. If they're comparative, boom.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I thought before when you'd have, champion and friend goes against other champion and friend, and if the friend gets pinned, the champion loses his title. Or, a 6-man match, or if your team loses, whatever. I thought that was bullshit. This took the bullshit to
the best
an
level.
all-new fucking level.
Yeah.
so far. Now just wait till we get to AEW, and then I got the great
Well, that's where we're going to
fucker
start.
on that one.
That's where we're going to start then. We'll start with AEW. We'll go to NXT, and then we'll take our break. Is that all right, guys?
Sounds good.
All right. So AEW, as we're going to lump this up, it was a tournament night, which we love tournaments. All of us here do love tournaments. And it was the first round of the tournament to see who the number one contender is going to be after Full Gear. You get the match after Full Gear, which is in 2 weeks or whatever. So the match starts with Wardlow. The show starts with Wardlow against Jungle Boy. There wasn't, and I'm going to steal John's words, there was never a great match in this tournament in this first round. Like, nothing made me go, oh, man. Jungle Boy had some moves. Wardlow pretty much just decimated him, though, in the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like this match, and I know I'm a total homer, and we love Wardlow, but he reminded me of Razor Ramon's first televised match where Mr. Perfect gave him the advice, do a move, and then just kind of hang around like, you know, you got this guy right where you want him. That's kind of what Wardlow did. Much better athlete, though. That guy can move around the ring. I thought he looked really good.
I liked the match. I mean, this showcased for me how good Wardlow is and the big guy, little guy concept to where it looked believable. Some of the stuff that Jungle Boy was doing to him just because they're both so good.
Yeah.
And especially Wardlow, and not to be rude, but having to be careful with a smaller guy versus, you know, him tackling Dino or what's the other one? Jack Hager or something like that, where he could be a little bit more solid. Sorry, Dino, otherwise known as Luchasaurus.
After this match, they showed what actually ended, because last week on AEW, it went long and they had to cut it out. So they showed Eddie Kingston continuing to pummel Moxley and ask for another match. And they already announced that it's going to be an I Quit match. But they kind of forget that they announced it, because then later down the road, they show the Moxley promo that he's asking for the I Quit match. And then they show another Kingston package saying he accepts the I Quit match, when at the beginning of the show, right after the Wardlow match, they said this is already booked for an I Quit match. So they kind of ran those a little bit out of helter-skelter, out of system or whatever. But it made its point. You know, so we just covered all of those promos right there. I'm excited for this. I really am excited for this. And I don't know if it's time to get it off of Moxley to see that he actually has somebody that is going to give him a match. But you guys know how much I pull for Eddie Kingston. I know John, it's his man crush right now. Yeah. I'd love to see Kingston win this. I really would. Do I think, honestly, in my heart of hearts, is it going to happen? No, not yet. But I hope it's going to be a hell of a match.
I'm with you. I agree. I'd love to see it on him. I don't think it happens either. I think this is just another challenge along a lengthy title reign. But Eddie Kingston kills a promo, man. He just nails it every time. He can do no wrong.
Yeah, I got to agree with you guys on him. He's great on the mic. He can tell a story in the ring. I would love to see him win the title, and I'm a huge Moxley fan. I would love to see him win the title, but right now I don't want him to, because they are setting up that fucking twinkle toes douche fuck Omega to get the title. And I don't want to see Kingston be an interim champion. I would rather him not be a champion at all than be an interim, 2 months champion.
I agree.
And especially losing to Twinkle Toes McFinger fuck.
Well, speaking of Kenny Omega, he has the next match against John's favorite wrestler, Sonny Kiss. The only thing I want to say about this match, first of all, the entrance lasted longer than the match. His accolades lasted longer than the match. And you heard that he was this and that and this and that and this and that. And the very last thing that was announced, and I wrote this down because it set me off. Did he performed once in North Carolina? What the motherfuck does that mean?
It's a slap on the NWA.
I know it is. I know, but I'm just saying, like, and he performed once in North Carolina. Guess who else did? Chad and I put a skit on last year at WrestleCade where I was an idiot laying on the ground, and I'm now on Chad's side with Kenny Omega because he's pissing me off. Not that I've ever been a huge fan, but
the only good thing about this match and everything like that is the
wasn't a match.
The chick that had the broom that was on closer towards the stage, she looked like she had some practice with that broom. And I'm just going to leave it at that. That was the only good thing with this whole bit. And Dave Meltzer was all over this. This was all, kissing his ass or reach around with him. Oh, the highest rated wrestling match ever. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. You're going to beat that. Big deal. It's either that or Joey fucking Nutella.
Which Sonny Kiss actually filled in for Joey Janela because Joey is sick of some sort. They didn't say what. They said he's sick of some sort. So Sonny Kiss actually took Joey's spot because this was supposed to be a Janela match against Omega, not Sonny Kiss.
Yeah, story behind that after John goes.
The best part of this match was that we didn't get to see Sonny Kiss. Thank God. I told you, I've tried, just not a fan. You guys say that he's starting to get on your nerves, Kenny Omega. He's been getting on your nerves, but more so lately. That's the point. I think we're seeing a slow turn here. Like, you went to shake hands and then, like, kneed him in the face or something, right? And then did some sort of sit-down powerbomb, pile-driver type move, and that was the end of that. And he's acting like a giant douche, and that's kind of the point. We hate him anyway, so now they're just kind of giving us what we want.
So why is Janela sick?
So the story comes out, and I can find it, send it to you guys. But Janela and Marco Stunted Growth and a bunch of other of the Mud Show wrestlers had an event, I guess about a week and a half ago. And they were exposed to, there was some people there exposed to COVID-19. So they're quarantining. You're like thinking, okay, whatever. But where my laugh and bitch is on this, Marco Stunt in his match was put in the beginning part of a surfboard. The legs were tied up and the guy had his arms and was rocking back and forth. But the thing of the match was there was a big dildo on a 2x4 in the ring, and the guy was making Stunt with this move look like he was deep throating.
Okay.
And I'm just now I'm going to say this: if that would have been me, that little fucker would have been fired on the spot and out of AEW. Period.
Yeah, no.
So
I heard that too. Yeah.
And that's. You want to have a kiss my ass match. You want to have something like that. This, when he walked out, I could not believe that Khan let him come out in that first match with Jungle Boy and Dino. He should be fired immediately.
That's not needed in wrestling. I'm done. That's my thoughts. That's not needed of any sort. Next matchup is Rey Fenix against Pentagon Jr., and I love this match. As much as they fly around the ring and everything they did, this was one hell of a match. Rey Fenix gets the pin, gets the win, but essentially he's not moving on in the tournament right now because he did get injured in this match. So next week, Pentagon Jr. is going to be taking on Kenny Omega, even though he lost the match. So there you go.
That's kind of like a K1 tournament type thing, or maybe like an MMA type thing, where even if you win your fight but you're injured, the guy you beat takes your place in the next round. So maybe that's kind of how they're treating this. This match for me was okay. Are they really brothers? Do we know?
I don't know.
I don't
know. No. I just felt like if they were really brothers, I wanted to see them throw everything at each other. I know it's not a pay-per-view. I know they only had 10 minutes or whatever, but it seemed rushed a little bit. I wanted to see these guys really let it all hang out. They'd be willing to kill each other for a win, and then they're brothers after the match. And I didn't quite feel that. Great athleticism, which is what you'd expect from these guys, didn't really get me emotionally involved as much as I would have liked.
Good, entertaining match with John. Same thing, just not really nothing to catch me, get me involved in it. The only question I have, and they pushed it through the first match, they were pushing it through this match, and every other one was if it goes to a time limit draw, both guys were eliminated.
I thought that's where this one was going.
And
right, thank you.
And so with this one, even though he won and he's not able to continue, would it not have made more sense to put Twinkle Toes McFingerfuck in the final without wrestling a second round match just to piss people off even more?
Yeah.
That's the way I would have went, because you know damn well he's not going to lose to the Pentagon. So why not use this to your, as bad as it sounds, use it to your advantage and put more heat on the asshole. This is no different than, what the hell was it? First King of the Ring with Bam Bam Bigelow. He got into the final against Bret Hart. I can't remember who tied or double disqualification.
Luger and Tatanka went to a draw. So yeah, okay. And it put heat on him. I just would have done the booking different with this.
Quick promo. Dark Order was talking about winning all the matches. This Colts match is next, and winning all the titles. I mean, I say matches, whatever. So we get Colt against Hangman. Writing's on the wall who's the final is, guys. We talked about this off air several times. Chad just brought it up as soon as he got into the studio. The only thing I have to say is, like, Evil Uno on the outside was more of a presence during this match because he was studying like he was trying to find the cure to cancer, coronavirus, anything. His mannerisms on the outside distracted me more than watching Hangman against Colt. And I don't think this was a great Colt match. I think he was a little bit off in this match. There's times that I like Colt Cabana, and there's times that I'm like, man, Colt Cabana is Colt Cabana.
I'm not as a guy meeting him and everything like that at IWC and everything, he's a cool dude, and I was glad to meet him. But I have yet to see in the last 5-6 years a match of his that was wow. Yeah, something. It's the comedy spots. So help me, that stupid Superman roll up.
I hate that.
All the guy has to do is bring his leg up, knee him in the nuts, roll him over, and he's pinned. There's your fucking counter.
Go ahead, Chad. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, the only thing, with Dark Order that they did well this week is bringing back the... oh, no, I'm sorry, not Dark Order. I'll back off. Yeah, we'll get to that. Never mind. My mistake, people.
I enjoyed this, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm a little old-fashioned, but I like the bigger guys, the hard-hitting matches. I'm a big fan of Hangman Page. To your point, Mark, you say the writing's on the wall where this tournament's going and who's going to be in the finals. I just hope they give us what we're asking for, because there have been times in the past, like with the King of the Ring tournament, we have said, oh, you could see how this is lining up. Vader and Yokozuna are going to be in the finals. Meanwhile, I think they both exited first round. So they really give you what you want, and maybe that's just to spice things up a little bit and not be predictable. I think in this case, they just need to be predictable and give us what we want, which would be Hangman and Omega, right? The way it's lined up now?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sammy G cuts a great promo on Hardy. I'm actually excited for this rematch. It's going to take place in the Hardy compound in North Carolina again. It's going to be one of those pre-taped ones, whatever. My man crushes Sammy G. Is he going to win in the compound? Probably not. Whatever. But I think it would be a good way for him to win it, because that shit show that they had at the last pay-per-view where Sammy just had to fall through tables himself because Matt wasn't on Earth with us. I think it would be a good point for Sammy to win at the compound and kind of delete this storyline now and get it out of the way.
I agree. He needs this win. We've said he could take losses and he's got a bright future, and he probably still could take a loss and have a bright future. He needs this win, though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was thinking the same thing. He needs to beat Hardy. Hardy's not going to go
Anywhere
far in AEW and stuff, and Sammy's got the upswing. It would be, I don't want to necessarily say a travesty or a, nut kicker for Sammy to lose, but it would hurt him to lose this match.
Team Taz came out, talked about a few things. Nothing really great even. I mean, Will Hobbs, nothing really great. But let's get to what we want to talk to. The Jericho and MJF dinner. This was amazing. I died laughing the whole time. Chad did not like it at all. His face is down. He's red. This was a fucking musical, and I enjoyed it.
Chad?
Nothing. He's not talking about it.
It was funny, but I just want to see him beating the shit out of each other.
It's getting there. It's getting there. This is a slow burn. I like the slow burn on this one.
Jericho can't afford slow burns. He's fucking old. He's getting there. Go ahead, John.
So they had a steak dinner. They talked about the temperature of their steaks. This was, I don't know, it was a fun segment. It's what you'd expect out of these guys. They're both kind of corny and funny, and and I'm okay with them taking their time. As long as they keep entertaining me every week, I'm okay with them kind of doing these silly skits before it finally gets to where it's going. I'm along for the ride.
Britt makes a return against Kylan King. I'm going to repeat what Tony and JR said. She's more focused and more aggressive since returning, and she looks great. And I like that she's a breast cancer awareness, even with her gloves, all the way down to her pink gloves.
I enjoy this. I think Britt does look more aggressive. We're seeing some new moves out of her, too. I enjoyed this. I thought this was very good. It's good to see her back. She's improved. Be a little bit honest. We said she didn't need much on the mic. And we've seen interviews with her where she said she's been given kind of free reign, maybe a couple of pointers here or there. They let her be herself, and she was gold on the mic. In the ring, I thought she needed some work. It looks like she's put in the work, because I thought she looked fantastic in this match. I think both women did. It was a fine match.
Yeah, I gotta go with Britt. Looks a lot better. Looks a bit sharper. Physically, she looks more toned than she was. I think has been putting in the ring work, and that's when there ain't much else that you can do.
Right.
I think she's one of the ones that this epidemic has really benefited. Well on her way to the title.
There was one of the things. The pacing was really good. It sped up at times. It slowed down at times when it needed to. You'd see a series of moves and a pin by Britt. Only a 2 count. Regroup. Think about your next set of moves. She tries a lockjaw, can't get it. Regroup. Think about your next set of moves. Pacing was really good.
Next matchup is the Fatal 4-Way for the winner gets a shot at Full Gear. So it's a Dark Order against Private Party against the Butcher and the Blade. And this is where Chad's bringing back. The Bunny is back with Butcher and the Blade. So Chad is happy because the Bunny is back, not Allie anymore with the Nightmare Club against the Young Bucks. Who didn't think that the Young Bucks were going to win this? Anybody? Crickets?
I guess this is sort of like the Sammy Guevara thing, it's got to be their time at some point. I may be in the minority here, but I still didn't think. I don't think they need belts. I just don't think they need belts. They are world renowned.
Assholes.
I didn't see it coming. Yeah, I thought they were going to go maybe with Private Party, but
Really?
yeah, I just thought it's not the obvious answer. That's why I didn't think it was going to be the Young Bucks.
After the match, do you want to say anything about it?
I want to, with John saying, I agree to a point. He's saying they don't need belts with their reputation, and I'll agree with that. But I want to throw in their reputation. Yes, no belts. Their fucking egos. Oh, they got to have every belt. So they would have the women's belt if they could have it. That's their ego. That's the problem with them being where they are as far as vice presidents or whatever with that is guys like that. I seen, unfortunately, them winning. It's just them building up to going against FTR. I sincerely hope FTR beats them. Otherwise, this just pisses away everything
you did with
in
FTR.
that tag team division.
I agree. I don't think it's their time for belts yet.
There was a beatdown after the match, though, right?
Yeah, Tully came in and beat the piss out of him.
Yeah, Spike Piledriver.
I like that. I did.
Yeah.
The downfall is when something like that happens, it always leads to, in my book or my years of watching wrestling, a lot of it leads to a title change because they're gonna run the muck on him for a while.
Or do they take a shot? Or do they take a shot at Tully in the match for retribution and then turn around and get, waylaid in the nuts and their head planted in the thing and lose the match?
I'm all right with that, too.
I would love to see that. Fuck, I'd love to see Tully jump in the ring and slingshot suplex the little bastards.
When we talked to the Killer Bees, they both said that the money was in the chase. I know it's a different time. I know they don't do house shows 9 times a week all over the country and all over the world, but I still think the money is in the chase. I don't think we see a title change right away.
Good. All right, let's transition over to NXT. And in general, guys, I thought wrestling was a little weak, and I think NXT was the same. I did like the Kushida, Ciampa, and Dream match, though. That was pretty awesome. And I liked it. I loved where it went with Kushida getting the win, but he can have a match with both of these guys again, and I'd watch. I think there's more to come with the Dream, but who's not jonesing for Kushida against Ciampa just tearing down the house? Absolutely.
I think that would have been this triple threat match was absolutely fine. I loved it. But I'm with you. I'd like to see them in a one-on-one match. And speaking of this triple threat match, was it as obvious to you guys that Velveteen Dream, even though he got some licks in, was mostly there to just kind of be their bitch and take the punishment? It seems to me they're still burying this guy as much as they can.
Yep. That fast. Yeah, I agree. I really agree. Ember Moon against Jessie Kamala. I don't know.
Kamala's daughter.
I don't know who it is. The thing is, they didn't care about this match because they had the Adam Cole video up. But if you did watch some of the match, Ember's not flying around the ring anymore. She's kind of taken a new moveset, I think, to not get injured as much. That's what I actually got out of this.
And it may take some time to develop that set, but I'm sorry. I hate to bury anybody. She's just a snoozer for me. I am not a fan.
I didn't like it. I said I was excited it was her. I don't know. She needs build up more. I'm on both of you guys' bandwagon. I am. I posted this already. That John was probably going to be upset that the world's tallest man, biggest man in the world, 2 huge losses to Bronson Reed, and then he quits NXT. Where are we going with John's boy, Austin Theory.
I don't know where this goes. Yeah, I thought this was a good match. I'm not sure why Bronson Reed is getting such a push here. I'm not a fan of his. Somebody else quit too. Didn't somebody do the same thing on one of the other shows? Might have been SmackDown, but we'll get to that, I guess. Someone just up and quit. It was exactly what Bronson Reed did. I'm not sure where this goes.
No, Austin Theory quit, John.
Or Austin Theory, not Bronson Reed. I'm sorry. Yeah, Austin Theory just quit. But somebody else did the same thing. In any event, I'm not sure what they've got in mind for him.
It's going to be, he's going to team, the other guy was Shorty G,
Yep.
Chad Gable, and they're going to be, the rumor that I'm seeing this morning is they're going to be forming a team in NXT called the Quitters.
What's the idea behind it?
So when you add both of them up, they'll be about 8'4" tag team. They can bill themselves as Andre the Giant or something like that, you know.
The Giants.
No, it'd be the Giant because they equal one of him.
One person.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless
Or
they're... Go ahead, James.
I was going to say they could call themselves Perfect Tag Team half and half.
I don't like any of this.
Nice.
Why?
Good.
It's better than Road Warriors, right?
Yeah, they'd probably be better in the ring than the Road Warriors. Yeah.
Your mic is scraping or something, John.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't know if you have it down too low or you.
Sounds like he's playing with eggshells or something.
Yeah, are you making eggs right now?
I'm not making eggs. No.
That's bad.
Are you playing with your wrestlers off camera again?
Under the table. Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What do you think?
What the hell were we talking about? Oh yeah, this quitters idea. I had not heard that, Chad. Unless they kind of make it sort of, is paradox the word I'm looking for? Where they are tenacious, where they're called the quitters, but they're like really tenacious in the ring and you know try to tear down opponents. But I don't know where you go with a group called the Quitters.
Do you think they're dastardly?
That's what they would need to be. Yeah, that's what I would like to see. If they're going to be called the Quitters, but then they're dastardly in the ring and they don't give up. Maybe that's the idea. I don't know.
I don't care. I don't. I like
Put a mask on them. I don't know.
We have masks on people later.
By the way, I'm sorry. The bunny, yes, having the bunny back, that made this show for me.
10 minutes later.
I'm sorry. Well, we kept going. I'm sorry. She's hot. She's smoking hot. Okay.
Team Phantasma against Team Swerve in the 6-man match. John, I know these are your boys, so you can have the lead on this one.
What can I say? I love both of these teams. I liked seeing IWC alum Joaquin Wilde get a lot of time in this match. I thought he did a really nice job. These guys are all really good. I love all 6 of these guys. It's what I expected. Good tag team wrestling. Wasn't too bananas for me with guys jumping in and coming and going and too many blind tags or anything like that. Good double and triple team moves. This was my favorite match of the night.
It was a good match. I'm not like overly into the teams and that yet, but I thought it was a good competitive match. It was good to see DJZ. I had to trying to think there. It was good to see him, finally getting some time and everything. And one thing I'll always remember about him is when he came back to the Super Indie tournament against Adam Cole and what he had to say afterwards and knowing what he went through, almost dying and everything like that. The guy's got some balls.
He does.
And that's all there is to it. That is the love of a sport right there. And I wish more nowadays would have that same feelings that he does.
I'm going to say that I'm actually excited. I'm going to move this a little bit. I'm excited for this Halloween Havoc. I really am. I think NXT is going to do something that's going to put Halloween Havoc finally on the board compared to all these other Halloween Havocs that we've seen in the past. Right? Chad gives me big eyes like I'm an idiot, but I might actually be excited for this Halloween Havoc. Go ahead.
The Legado gets the win. I don't know if we mentioned that. With a nice double team move, just a basic double team. I think it was like a neck breaker clothesline combo for the win. And beyond that, we need to stop going to Johnny Gargano's house. Just enough already. He's a special performer. There's no doubt. I don't use that word loosely. He's top 10 in NXT right now. We need to quit going to their house.
They're never on the show anymore. They're always just at home.
Yeah.
That was my bitch. They're always just at home. Do something else.
For the Halloween Havoc, they just need to bring back the electric chair. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I want to see somebody get zapped.
You might.
Bring it back, and then have the guy in the mask be Abdullah the Butcher.
That would be great. I would love that. Drake Maverick and Killian Dane against Everrise.
It was all right. It's what we expected, and again, they're pulling the act that we've seen here in IWC with Steak and Eggs. I think at the end, the little guy Drake Maverick like spazzes out with a chair, right, and causes a disqualification. And Killian Dane is finally like, "That's what I wanted to see out of you. That was awesome." And nobody's allowed to hit him except Dane, and they're buddies, but he still smacks him around once in a while. We've seen it here locally in Pittsburgh, folks.
Yeah. Yep. Xia Li against my gal, Casey Catanzaro, and this wasn't even a match. This was, I don't know. I feel bad for both women. I really do. This was just, they were not in sync. They weren't anywhere.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to tell us too many stories in one night, if that's possible. It just reminded me when we had that interview with Joey Licious, and he said you had like your 3 stories maybe. And they didn't have rosters of so many people, but it seemed like this tried to cram too much into one show and didn't give us enough time on each. I think I knew Casey was going to win. Xia was going to lose her shit like we've been seeing every week. In essence, some of these stories are taking too long because we're just seeing the same thing over and over again every week. But then at the same time, they're rushed because you're trying to cram too many stories into one show. We've seen Xia Li get pissed off because she keeps losing. We need to see that next step already.
Yep. We're both shaking our heads, so yeah, we'll just move along. John, I know you love this. The Thatch Can. Thatcher against Anthony Green, or they called him Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah, but it's Anthony Green. We know Anthony Green.
Okay, you're going to be so mad at me. Is he somebody that we know?
Yes.
He is.
He was IWC. He came out with the Platinum Honeys. The retro. He comes out the Sly Fox.
Oh, yes.
You don't know.
Yeah, I know who.
Yeah. All right. Unless he sees him in person, he doesn't recognize him. That's John.
Yep, that happened with Mambo Italiano too. I was like, man, I kind of know that guy, but yeah, it takes a while.
One Italian not knowing another. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
I love this. He told him, like, take my leg, and he couldn't take his leg because he reversed it somehow. I don't know, twisted his neck. Then he said go for something else, but Andrew went for the leg again, which pissed off Thatcher, and he just beat the shit out of him.
I loved it. I
love these segments. Love them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Afterwards, Priest came on, and he kind of accepted Gargano's whatever. Yeah. All right, tag team. Breezango supposed to defend against
Undisputed
Era. Fish get hurt. Strong gets hurt.
Yep.
O'Reilly says, well, I'm not going to take a spot. I can pick 2 other people. And he picks Lorcan and Birch. And I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we have new tag team champions.
I'm heartbroken that we have new tag team champions. The bigger story may be, do we know who is attacking Undisputed Era? Do we have any ideas?
Yeah, it was revealed.
Yeah, at the end. Who comes out at the end?
This is where my meds started to kick in, to be perfectly honest with you guys, so I might have missed this part.
Pat McAfee comes out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In a
I'm
mask.
drowsy, but I do remember seeing that. Yeah. Oh, God. I must have blocked that out. Oh, I hate that guy.
This is going to be interesting. I'm not overly crazy about him, but I think he in the Undisputed Era, specifically Adam Cole.
Are we getting another match?
This is going to be
Excuse me.
a fucking clash between them, because he can take the punishment that Cole hands out because he's a little bit bigger of a guy.
Yeah.
Not much, but I think this is... I'm not a huge fan of his, but I like seeing this.
So you're on board. John hates it.
He can't remember it.
Yeah. I don't like Pat McAfee either, but I'm kind of in the middle. I really am. I didn't like the Adam Cole Pat McAfee match. We all said Adam carried him through it. It was like a week later we had Dominic Mysterio's first match, and Dominic ran with his first match ever. I don't know if we went back for some more training to see something going on or whatever. I don't think he's in the ring a lot next time again. I think we're gonna get a 6-man burn off of some sort. I don't know, is where I'm thinking. But essentially, I think O'Reilly has something to do with this. I do. They've made him too much of a baby face right now, and I love Kyle O'Reilly, that he's baby, kind of slinging away from the era a little bit. I think Kyle O'Reilly has something in the whole scheme of this, that he's responsible for this.
That would be interesting. That would be an interesting twist.
I'm with you, but I don't think it's O'Reilly. I think it's going to be Fish, because he's not getting any attention.
See? All right. Well, I'm all right with that too.
So I think it's going to be him, because he's like, well, what the fuck? He's getting all the attention. He's getting the matches. What the fuck am I? Dead fish? See what?
Regardless, though, whichever member it is, that's going to create really good conflict. It's going to create if they go that route, that's going to create a nice story. Where, those guys have been so tight, and if one of them leaves to join somebody else, the guys that remain are going to be heartbroken. And I think like when they start to split up DX little by little, and it was tough watching the betrayals happen.
Or the NWO when there was no, I'm kidding about the old
when there was 250 members.
Yeah,
divided over 4 packs.
Right. And none of them had any heat or anybody clout nonetheless. All right. So in general, our Wednesday Night War, myself, it was okay. I don't want to say good. I don't want to say great. Wednesday night this week was just okay for me. Nothing spectacular.
It was a filler.
Same here. I thought NXT was a better show, but I didn't think either of them were very good.
All right, so what do we do now? We talk about collar and elbow. We talk about how we love collar and elbow. Shad Gaspar is on John right now.
Wow, you can see that, yeah.
I can. Well, you have a good video and a good computer now, so yeah. Yep. I'm freezing, so I got a hoodie on, normal hoodie.
Same here.
So it's just cold up here in the wilderness. Check out Collar and Elbow. They did throw out some new shirts this week, another couple hoodies, zip-up hoodies, got a little camo on them and everything. New stuff coming out all the time, so head over to collarandelbow.com and use a promo code CANCRUSHERS. All one word, capital C in can, capital C in Crushers. You'll get 10% off, and here comes Al Snow. And then after Al Snow, we'll be back to talk about SummerSlam 1995 as we rewind here today on Can Crushers.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. 2 entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
I'm Marvelous Matt Bish. I don't know how you stumbled upon this podcast. Must be some dumb luck. Maybe you hit a wrong button. But here we are. You're watching the Can Crushers podcast. And you know what? Tell those morons that I sent you, and maybe they'll treat you a little better. See ya.
And welcome back to Can Crushers, listeners. It is I, the English professor, joined by Chad the Glorious Guru and our host, Mark the Mark Martinez. And today's throwback, we are discussing SummerSlam 1995, or as Vince McMahon would say, SummerSlam.
You always do a good Vince McMahon. I will give you that. You do a good Vince McMahon. SummerSlam 1995, live from the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Feel the heat. And
yeah, it was hot.
It was, was it hot in 95?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah. Legitimately, guys, I picked this because it was from Pittsburgh. You guys know that I don't remember shit, and I don't remember what was on this card, so I'm like, I want to find a pay-per-view that was from Pittsburgh and not do the Hell in a Cell that I was at or anything like that, so I'm like, all right.
Or WrestleMania.
What?
Or the WrestleMania?
We've never done WrestleMania 1. We should do WrestleMania 1 as
John was there, wasn't he?
He was there. He was.
I told you guys that. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. Right off the bat, we have Dean Douglas. He's going to be in the back critiquing all the matches. You know I have a special connection with Shane Douglas. I met him when he was coming up. He's always been one of my favorites. The Dean was not my favorite shtick with him. Yeah. He became Shane Douglas in ECW. Yeah. He was awesome as a dynamic dude, though, too. I like that.
Yep. This was a low point in the WWF. Even though I loved this era, the 90s, the early to mid-90s, where everybody had a job outside of wrestling. Henry Oliver Godwin and Phineas Irving Godwin had hogs and pigs on their farm. Erwin R. Shyster worked for the IRS, and Duke the Dumpster Drosy was a garbage man, and everybody had a gig outside of wrestling, which I would think wrestling's fairly lucrative. Why would you keep your other job? But these guys did. But it's funny you picked this pay-per-view, Mark, because I promise you, I would just watched some videos and read some articles about it, and it discussed the sheer lack of bad guys in the WWF at the time. Like, once you got past Sid, and then I believe at this time Yokozuna and Owen Hart were tag team champions, but they weren't even on the card. Who did you really have? Isaac Yankem?
Yep.
Mabel? King Mabel? That was it. So when this pay-per-view was rolling around, I remember clear as day you saying to me, well, who does Shawn Michaels wrestle for the title? And I was like, I don't know. And then your next question was Razor. What you meant was, who's Razor going to wrestle? And I looked at you like an idiot, like, why are they going to put those two baby faces together? And you said, no, that's not what I mean, but we need two more bad guys, one for Shawn and one for Razor, because you got to have both of those guys on the card. And lo and behold, you inadvertently predicted that these guys would wrestle each other at SummerSlam. And in my opinion, I think they just had nowhere to go because there was no reason for this ladder match. But they thought, you know what? It was successful at WrestleMania a year and a half ago. Why don't we just throw it back up there again and hope that the fans like it? Matches start to finish were good. What's that one?
I don't remember saying it. Thank you for remembering that, because
you're welcome.
I'm barely remembering that I ate Permane Brothers yesterday, so that's about it. Overall, Chad, what's your thoughts on this before we get into the matches? Were you excited for this? Where were you? You were in Guam or someplace by then, right?
95, Germany.
That's not Guam, but it starts with a G at least.
You were close. You were close.
Has an A and an M in it.
This had a lot of talent on the card, but it wasn't used. It wasn't developed a lot.
No shit.
To put it mildly, it was an era where they had so much, but they didn't know how to use them.
Well
and
said.
hit their strengths, I guess.
First match is the 1-2-3 Kid against Hakushi. I thought this was a great first match. Back and forth, fast speed. Hakushi just kind of coming in. He's the White Angel. You really don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy yet. He does some dastardly things, but he's the White Angel. He's where we always refer to IWC guys. You know that if you listen to the show for the last 3 years. He's where Angelic is right now. You don't know what the hell is going on with him. The White Angel gets the win. It was filled with reversals and everything. I thought it was a good first match.
I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought Hakushi had the chance to really get over. The fans were into him, and I'm just not quite sure why he never did. For me personally, I felt like I could change the channel and see the same act out of the Great Muta to an extent, which we had seen since like 88 or 89 when he joined Terry Funk to take on Ric Flair and clear through to his match with Barry Windham, but a very similar style to the point where they do the cartwheel forward roll, jump into the elbow in the corner. They both did that same move. There's nothing wrong with Hakushi. The fans seem to take to him too, even though he was kind of a bad guy in this match. We see him come out later on and cause a distraction that gets a pop from the crowd. I don't know why he didn't catch on. I don't know where he went. I don't know if there's a contract dispute, but it's kind of a shame because we never really see him much again after this. But as far as this match goes, bell to bell, it was exactly what you'd expect out of the 1-2-3 Kid. Wrestling as the underdog, doing the high-flying stuff, his own version of the martial arts. Good stuff, man. And then it ends simply with the Kid goes for one of his spinning kicks. I think Hakushi catches him and just drops him into a sit-down powerbomb. Good stuff. Way to kick off the show.
Yeah, great kickoff match. Like I said, what you'd expect from these two. This match with Hakushi was before or after his feud with Brett, his mini feud. This was before, wasn't it?
I think it was. I think it might have been just after, only because we see him come out later, and he's kind of turning babyface. So my guess is that because he had feuded with Jerry Lawler, Bret Hart had feuded with Jerry Lawler,
right?
Then he claimed Bret Hart had made racist comments about Japanese people, which is why he brought Hakushi in. And then I think Isaac Yankem was like, he even brought in Doink, but then I think Isaac Yankem was like his last resort. But if I had to guess, I think the thing with Hakushi and Brett occurred before this.
I was wondering, I thought it was shortly before. It seems that Hakushi, to a point, John said he didn't catch on and everything. Up until he faced Bret Hart, he seemed to have the just shy of invincible. I mean, I was like, holy shit, he's going to give Bret a run for his frickin' money. Are they going to have him beat Bret? And then after Bret beat him, he just kind of like
disappeared.
Yeah, he just kind of like to teaming with the oddities and, whoever the hell else and everything like that.
Does he end up with Kai and Tai at some point then too? Of course. He has to, right?
Beats me.
Yeah.
But to answer your other question, that was May 14th, 1995 in your house. So it was like a couple of months before SummerSlam, Brett and Hakushi.
There you go. Look at him doing work on his new computer. Next matchup is Hunter Hearst Helmsley against Bob Sparky Plug Holly. One of the worst gimmicks in the world. I hated Bob Sparky Plug. I hated him. This is Hunter Hearst Helmsley just coming in, American Blue Blood. A lot of nose jokes by Vince McMahon. I wonder if he has to apologize to Hunter Hearst Helmsley years later because he really was just all over his nose in this match. And I don't know why I concentrated on that because
it's a large area.
It is a large area. Triple H stays undefeated. This was an okay match. Okay. Yeah. Okay to...
Yeah.
Okay to skip.
It was all right. Yeah, I was a fan of the early Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then I think eventually the transition to DX Triple H made sense. But this was a good shtick for him. I liked it. It was something different.
Yeah.
We'd always seen royalty in different forms like King Harley Race, King Haku, English people who are snobby. This was an American aristocrat. I liked it.
Chad's skipping it.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we know where that nose is, right?
Right. Up his ass.
Yep.
The Smoking Guns against the Blue Brothers. We saw the very first version of the Famouser in this match. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Billy Gunn, I didn't know, went to rodeo school. I did like the double teaming from the Blues Brothers. Not the Blues Brothers, the Blue Brothers. I would have been okay with them getting more of a push as the Blue Brothers, and then they took some time off and they came back as a
Skull and April.
Yeah. I didn't, that whole, the bikers, I wasn't big into that, but I like the Blue Brothers. I wish they would have got some more. But of course, the Smoking Guns are just, they were hot then. They were hot.
They were hot guns. Yeah. Smoking guns. They were.
Yeah. A smoking gun would be hot.
Yep. Why Blue Brothers? I never understood that. Their name could have been Jacob and Eli, I don't know, something else.
Yoder.
Yeah, Jaeger, something that sounds, German, but they've been in the U.S. for a couple of centuries. I didn't get blue. Because look what you just said, the Blues Brothers. Isn't that what you first thought when they were introduced?
Yeah.
The Blues Brothers. I didn't get that. And Uncle Zebekiah was the guy I mentioned a week or two ago.
Dutch Mantel. Yeah.
Yeah. This was really good. I liked the double team, I think, on Bart for most of the match. Or it might have been Billy, but I think it was Bart before he got the hot tag. Good power moves from the Blue Brothers. I'm surprised they didn't last. For an era that was really hurting for tag teams, I'm surprised the Blue Brothers didn't hang around longer.
These guys were the ones, they were actually the Harris brothers with the famous Shawn Michaels incident. That's why they didn't stay and didn't last, because they got sick of his shit and grabbed him in. One of them stood outside the dressing room while the other one went in and beat the fuck out of Michaels in the dressing room, ended up stuffing him in a locker and everything, and they were canned within a week after that.
Well, that answers that.
And then this was a decent match for what you could expect. Every time I hear the Smoking Guns, I think of Bart Gunn and how bad he fucked up the
Brawl for It All
by winning it and everything and all the shit. That's my lasting memory of him and the Smoking Guns.
No, I agree. I agree. Next matchup is Skip with Sonny and Can Crusher alum Barry Horowitz.
Yeah.
I love the Hava Nagila song.
Yep.
I love the Hava Nagila song. Back and forth, Barry started fast, and then Skip took over, and this is where what's his name comes in, Hakushi.
Hakushi, yeah.
But Earl Hebner wouldn't allow Sonny to throw in the towel. Why can you not throw in the towel?
Oh, God. I think, was this when, I'm almost positive this is when Mike Tyson had gotten out of jail and fought Peter McNeely, and they threw in the towel.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and so Hebner says, this isn't boxing, this is wrestling, so you have to leave with the towel. What the hell? It's an opportunity to take a pot shot at someone, but it was poorly executed. It was dumb. And was she really going to throw in the towel? I mean, come on. She had predicted this guy was going to beat this loser who could hardly ever win a match. He has ample opportunities to win, and you throw in the towel? It just wasn't believable. It was an opportunity for Vince to something else. Sorry for that.
The best thing about this match was Sonny. Next.
We go back to Dean Douglas, and he's talking about Vivify. I figured you'd want to talk about any of these because he's given new words that Can Crusher's host doesn't know, or whatever. I love this. I love the Vivify and this and that. Nothing.
Shane Douglas one of the videos I watched, one of the articles I read, he went to the WWF. There was a chance. He got there. They presented this thing to him. He did it for a little while, a short while. And the story goes, he called Heyman and said, quote, "You have to get me the fuck out of here." He hated his time in the WWF. Hated it. Didn't get along with the clique at all. There's two sides to every story, but Ramon's story is that his work ethic, and this is Scott Hall saying, his work ethic didn't match what was expected of you in the WWF. Like, he called a spot to go home once during their match. And when they got in the back, Razor's like, "Hey, man, is everything okay? Were you hurt?" It's like, "Nah, I'm just tired." And Razor said he lost his shit on him. Like, that's my job out there, too. You know what I mean? And you're tired, so you want to go home early? Like, people paid money. This is our livelihood. If that's true or not, I don't know. But that was his side of the story. But Shane Douglas did not have a good time there.
Chad's got nothing. Next match.
I think it's funny. Sorry. I think it's funny Razor talking about people's work ethic, and the only time he was ever good in his career was when somebody else was carrying him. From the AWA with Kurt Hennig to the best thing he did in WWE was Shawn Michaels' ladder match, and then go to WCW again. He was never on his own, and the one time that he really was and did anything, he was carried, I hate to say this, unfortunately, by one of the best technicians you've ever had in the ring. So, yeah, fuck him and his work ethic comments.
Wow. We get Bertha Faye with Harvey Wippleman against Alundra Blaze, and thank God this was quick. This was... I don't recall Bertha Faye holding the title. I don't remember this whatsoever.
I remember Bull Nakano. I remember some of her other defenses against the Hawaiian lady, Leilani Kai. Yeah, I don't have much recollection of Bertha Faye. I didn't even remember her maybe beating her. So she must have been like a 3 or 4 time champion, because she does leave with it, remember? And she trashes it on WCW TV.
Right, and I was wondering, is this what led her up to, they had a rematch at some point down the line, got it back, and then is that when she left with it? Because she wasn't defending it on WWFE at the time a lot. So at this time, there wasn't really a major presence for the women's championship. So she wins it back sometime later, and then we don't see her again until she shows up on WCW.
That's my guess of the timeline, yeah. This match was all right. I don't know. It was more about the silliness and Harvey Wippleman being in love with this larger lady who is very comfortable in her own skin. So good for her. She thinks she's sexy. She flaunts it. Harvey loves it. That's all that matters. They're happy. It's not about us, guys. It's about their relationship.
Chad's done. He's got nothing to say about this. Next matchup is a casket match. Kama taking on The Undertaker.
Or George.
What?
Kama Chameleon?
Kama Chameleon? Yeah. I love that song, by the way. It's a casket match. Anything and everything goes. It's one of the... Was this one of the first? It wasn't one of the first casket matches. But normally in a casket match, you have like 17 people come out. It was just one-on-one for the most part.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah. The Yokozuna matches had already happened, I believe, like the year before. This was okay. This was better than the Undertaker-Papa Shango feud.
It's the same person.
I know.
Okay. How about the Undertaker-Godfather feud?
No, this was better than that.
Oh, okay.
All his incarnations, he was cool on the mic. He could pull off a cool gimmick, just bell to bell. I was not a fan of whether it was Papa Shango, the Godfather, the Supreme Fighting Machine. I just don't know that he ever had a really good match. This was no exception. This wasn't...
Of all of them, what was your favorite, though? Like, my favorite, my favorite was Papa Shango, because I think they could have did more with him. He just would ever have it be talent. Yeah, his shtick, my favorite one was Papa Shango. The Godfather was over the top, was way over the top. I mean, granted, as adolescent teens, we love The Godfather, but sitting back now as grown-ass men.
We like the hose.
Yeah, that's actually, we did like the hose more. Anything about the match? Nothing. We didn't really care.
It was typical. I mean, The Undertaker gets beat up a while. The power of the urn brings him back. You think he's going to get shut in. He doesn't. $1 Million Man was a thorn in his side at that time. Paul Bearer, looking back, it was just too much. That whole gimmick was just a little much. But I guess it's what Vince wanted because he never toned it down. I mean, you can hear him. Anything he has to say, like, "Oh, referee, he's choking him now."
That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, that might be better than your Vince McMahon.
Wow, my Vince is pretty good. But anything goes. It's a casket match, so I don't know. I don't know why he's out there complaining, but at some point, don't you have to get serious if your man's losing and do something?
Yeah.
Than just your shtick, which I guess he did. He took his jacket off. He was ready to fight the $1 Million Man. I don't know. I was never a huge fan of The Undertaker either, just for this very reason. The whole thing is just a gimmick. When the guy has more talent than that.
Yeah, this was just a shit casket match. Definitely seen better. Definitely liked the Papa Shango thing angle more when it was The Undertaker and him and Undertaker bleeding black shit out of his head and everything. Yeah, this was not good.
This other thing I just want to say about The Undertaker, Mark. If you look later in his career, where he dropped a lot of the dead man stuff and went back to the Mean Mark days, I actually like that. Like, the fast fists, the knees in the gut, in the corner, rather than just like walking like he's from Night of the Living Dead and grabbing a guy by the throat like Frankenstein or something. I never got into all that.
So that was actually going to be my next question for both of you guys. What was your favorite? I know we've probably said that. What was your favorite incarnation of The Undertaker? Not this one then for you, huh?
No. The motorcycle guy.
American Badass.
Yeah.
That was yours too? Mine was a Ministry of Darkness. I liked that one the best. When they were crucifying people and you had stupid people in that club with them. I liked them. What, Chad?
I always remember when he had Stephanie McMahon on the cross and bringing her down, and I'm like thinking, I thought you had to sacrifice virgins.
Oh, God.
Isaac Yankem DDS against Bret Hart. I still love silly things. Like, I loved Isaac Yankem. I did. I love this.
Britt Baker DDS against Bret Hart? She was alive back then?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
She's DMD, though. She's better than DDS.
Oh.
Yeah. This was good. You can tolerate the silliness if the guys are good in the ring, if they show you something. This was a good match. Again, I know I'm a total homer. Bret Hart could have a good match with anybody. He really could.
This was one that showed Bret how good he was, that you were worried there for a little bit. Is he gonna fucking lose to this big goofy bastard? And that shows that's on Bret. And this I'm glad that Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane, got away from this, because this was the thing that almost killed his career.
Yeah, this was not a long-term thing. Thank God it was a couple and done.
And Vince McMahon wanted to get rid of him, and let's give him Ross's like one more shot. And they bring him in as Kane, and then, look from there.
Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Hall of Famer.
So this ended in a DQ, right? I'm trying to remember. I don't think this was like a submission with a sharpshooter. What, did Lawler jump in, or?
Yeah, Lawler jumped in.
Okay.
Yep.
Lawler had jokes all night, though, by the way. Lawler was great.
Yeah, he was.
Isaac Yankem wanted to give somebody toothpaste, and the kid said, but my teeth aren't loose. Get paste.
Yeah, we get it.
I love Jerry Lawler on commentary.
Match of the night for me is HBK against Razor in a ladder match. On this card, on any card, this was a great match, but this card blew it away. Not a lot of great matches. Notes real quick for me. Shawn could have legit torn his knee off when he fell through the ladder. Stand by a ladder in case the first one broke. Oh, they made a big to-do about Razor grabbing the standby ladder from underneath the ring. 2 years later, they're setting up 50 million fucking ladders, and if they don't touch them all, they're in trouble. But this, I was just making note of that like, he was shocked. Vince was shocked that they found the standby ladder. And I think this match might have, and I don't like using this, I think this match might have ended on a, botch. Because I think when Shawn went to jump for it the one time and grab onto it, I think he was supposed to, swing from it for a little bit and the ladder fall and then him fall. He looked a little disgusted when he had to climb the ladder the last time to grab it and just fucking pull it down. But whatever. I mean, Shawn was going to win, but I noticed that right off the bat. That's when I think Shawn was supposed to win with my air quotes. Go ahead, Chad.
This is, they tried to recapture the magic of the first one, and this was okay, but it just fell short. It was a good match. I'll give
match
it.
of the night, though, for you at least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's easily. I think probably the Lunder Blaze match was match of the night up until this one. But yeah, easily match of the night. Two great talents. Good talents overall. Just tried to recapture something from before.
I'll partially agree with Chad. It tried to recapture something, but I'll disagree in that. I think this was actually better than the year before at WrestleMania. This ladder match was better. I think this should have been on last, like in 1992. Brett and the Bulldog went to Vince and asked if they can go on after the world title match between Warrior and Macho Man because they tore down the house at Wembley Stadium. You follow this with Diesel versus Mabel. Bad idea. This should have gone on last. Again, I think it was better than their WrestleMania 10 match. And this breaks my heart a little because not long after this, we see the NWO. But this could have been a prelude of what Razor Ramón could have been in the WWF. He was going back to his vicious roots. I mean, he beat the shit out of Shawn Michaels, stomped his leg in the ladder, just pummeled him with the ladder. Absolutely brutal, absolutely vicious. I loved it. And I think a heel turn could have worked here. They shake hands after the match. They kind of tease like Razor is pissed, but then he hands him the belt and they shake hands and hug. I would have loved to have seen a turn. I think the fans wanted it. Look at that crowd. They were into Razor Ramón being the bad guy.
Well, what happens after leads up to where Razor's going, because he ends up backstage and Dean Douglas runs into him and he's talking about the Razor match and Dean pretty much says he's all stuff and Razor goes off, "You're all bluff and no stuff," and they kind of get into a little bit. And that's Razor's next two matches, I think, then, doesn't he?
Yeah, so this is where Shawn Michaels gets jumped and loses his smile and has to give up the belt to Dean Douglas because he was scheduled, it might have been the next month. No, it was October. It was a couple of months later. But Dean Douglas is forced to defend right there on the spot. Razor wins, and if you guys remember, Douglas had his foot under the bottom rope, which should have not constituted a pin, but I think they hosed him. It's a little iffy about what went on and who knew what. I think he hated it there. They wanted him gone. Let's just get the belt on Razor for a brief period. But Douglas's time there was a mess.
Yeah. As we said, we're now on to the main event, which is Diesel against King Mabel. And I've seen better matches from two people in those giant inflatable sumo suits than this. This was not good. This was not good at all. Luger comes out. You think Luger's going to maybe go because the Bulldog was maybe teased to go. Luger beats on Mo. Whatever. Diesel wins with a clothesline from the top ropes because he couldn't do anything else against that fat bastard.
Two things. Mark, you and I put on better matches in the gym or in the cafeteria. The other thing of note is Luger comes out to make the save, as you said, and I'm almost 100% positive the next night he's on Nitro. If it's not the next night, it's the week after that, 8 days later. But I'm almost positive he was at SummerSlam on Sunday night and on Nitro Monday night.
It was definitely the next night because I thought that's the whole controversy with Luger that
he was on the both Monday night shows because one Raw was taped, so he was at the actual pay-per-view. Then he was at the taped Raw
from like 2 weeks before.
And then showed up
live on Nitro.
Yeah, because he walked down during the Sting and Flair match.
Yeah. So that's what came of the main event. We don't care about Diesel and Mabel. Yeah. It was all about Luger.
Yeah. The fact that he showed up. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's start with our beer ratings. Let's go with Chad. Chad is going to be low because Chad is disgusted that we picked this.
No, it's... I'm stretching it, giving it a 3. And honestly, the only reason I would give it that is the ladder match.
Yeah, for everything that was good, that earned beer, there was just as much that was bad that took beer away. So I'm going 2.5. I thought the opening match was very good. I thought the ladder match was superb. As I said, better than their first. And I thought the Blue Brothers and the Smoking Guns was a very good tag team match. Not great. I'll go 2.5.
I'm going 3 with Chad. I'm going to go 3 with Chad because ladder match, I like some of the sticky stuff back then. I don't know. Hava Nagila gets a point for me. Legit. Wow. I like Dean Douglas, so that, and then the ladder match. Everything else, we'll be back with another recap of a show in about 2 weeks, because next week we're going to cover Hell in a Cell, as we do, which is taking place. But let's transition over to Raw and SmackDown, and then we'll do our Hell in a Cell predictions for tonight when we come back, all right?
Sounds good.
This is Remy LeVay of the Culmination, and you're listening to the Can Crushers podcast.
And welcome back, Can Crusher Nation. We're just going to cut to the bullshit because I think I'm about ready to give birth to a kidney stone. We got Marvelous Mark, John the Jokester, and the Guru here. What do we got going on?
Anything could happen on Can Crushers.
Guys, this is no shit. Chad is in pain right now. He can leave if he wants, but he wants to stay around for Raw and SmackDown because it was that enthralling. He was excited for it.
I'm just staying around for predictions and a tidbit of news. You guys are going to want to have your pen and paper ready to write this down.
Ooh, this is actually something he didn't tell me about, which, all right. So we're going to lump WWE together as we've been going on and doing. I'll go first and kind of like sporadic. One, I didn't watch SmackDown. The World Series was on, so it records on Fox. It didn't record, so I'm like, what? Oh, maybe it wasn't on. I now find out that it was on FS1, so it didn't record. So I did watch some Bleacher Report highlights, so shout out to Bleacher Reports for having some highlights on. I noticed I didn't miss much, but back to Raw that I was saying. The Fiend's over there with Alexa Bliss now, and I'm all about that. I think it fits him over there, the red and everything, and I'm cool with that. I love what they're doing. They're putting him right up against Retribution. Bray can't take many more losses. I'm going to say this. I don't care. If you're going to put him against Retribution, which is a joke faction anymore. They've been beat to piss by the Hurt Business. Now Bray just beats the shit out of all of them.
what are their names?
Smoke Wad, Dick
Strap,
Jack.
Chastity's belt.
Yeah,
What?
I'm already ready for Retribution to be done. This is not going anywhere. Bray beat them all up Monday night. He says maybe we'll see something. There's no match announced for Hell in a Cell with them, but there's only 5 matches on Hell in a Cell being announced, so we don't know what the hell is going to come. I don't like Bray against them.
Alexa does look hot as a bitch, though.
She does. Elias's concert was putrid. Chad's favorite thing that happened on Raw was the new Lucha Libre that came out.
Yep.
El Grande Fado, or whatever. El Grande Gordo. We know a couple Gordos. So
We do, yeah.
this was stupid, Chad, and you loved it. I'm making you talk about it with your kidney stone coming out your dick right now, so you better talk about it.
I'm sorry. I thought it was funny because it was so obvious what was going to happen. And when he came out, it looked like, one of the first assassins from 60, 70 years ago put on about 300 pounds.
If not more.
I was laughing.
John loves Otis.
I can't stand the guy.
I
hate him.
Jealousy over Mandy Rose will not get you anywhere, John.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
A lot of Drew Randy stuff. They meet at the end of the show in the Hell in the Cell. Nothing else stands out for me on Raw again. Even with people being switched around, they give it to you right now and then they're done. That's it. And I understand, John, you said this earlier, that there's so much that they're just trying to jam in, and 3 hours is way too long. But they're just trying to jam in everything possible on Raw, and there's nothing to catch on. There's nothing that you can say, man, I can't wait to watch Raw next week because...
Yep.
To borrow an old school term, they're hot-shotting it, everything, trying to get some ratings, and nothing's catching on.
Nothing's sticking. You're absolutely right. You have more about Raw, Mark?
No, that's all I want to say on Raw. I'll let somebody else run with SmackDown since I didn't actually watch it.
Well, SmackDown kicks off with the Kevin Owens show. And this is what I mean. Like you say, they have so much time, and it's too much time, but they don't use it wisely. Kevin Owens introduces, what the hell is his name? The Yes guy. Mrs.
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan. I was going to say Mrs. Bella. Daniel Bryan. And they just talk about, so where do you see the future of SmackDown? And, what kind of rugs do you have in your house? And what the hell are they discussing? Who gives a shit? And then other tag teams come out, talk shit on each other, brawl, boom, commercial. So as soon as there's any level of physical action, you go to commercial. Then they come back and there's an 8-man tag team match. Just start with that. I don't understand. It's been 25 years, guys, of a segment opening a show. And here comes somebody's music. Oh, I didn't see that coming. You want to fight me? Well, okay. Oh, somebody else's music. Didn't see that coming. It's so old and tired. It is okay to say, tune in next week to see Wrestler X against Wrestler Y because it's going to be great. But they can't do that. It's this same bullshit every week where they try to trick us. These guys just happen to show up in case there's a match. Well, let's throw them in the ring together. I hated it. And the other thing I hated was the whole Otis in court. Like, since when is LBJ a judge?
LBJ? JBL.
JBL, whatever. I'm thinking of Lyndon Johnson. JBL.
He's been dead a while, John.
Yeah,
He has been. Okay.
I don't think he was a lawyer, though, either.
That whole thing, going back to it, again, we've said we can tolerate the silliness if we get something good in the ring. There's just nothing good in the ring going on to tolerate a segment, let alone 2, 3, 4 times they go back to this stupid shit. Miz is not an actor. I don't get why he's even in this skit, what he really has to do with it. And then with the Mysterios, again, things are taking way too long to develop, and at the same time, they feel rushed. And what I mean by that is they're not moving on to the next thing because they never gave that one thing enough time, so they do that one thing again next week. So we get Seth Rollins against Murphy. Murphy gets his ass kicked. Sister comes out. Dominic comes out. What are you doing? Don't do that. And I'm not trying to be offensive, but I do want to make a point here, guys.
He sounded like Dracula.
He did. From Transylvania.
I've come to suck your blood.
That's because he's still eating his Halloween cereal. He still likes the, Count Chocula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark practically lived at my house when we were kids, which explains why he was able to understand my father word for word. If you ever talk to my dad, his English was broken. And my mom's is too.
No, it's because he speaks Smartness. He doesn't speak English or Italian. He speaks Smartness, which I completely understand.
My point being this. I and my brothers, as the following generation, do not speak English that way. In my opinion, they are forcing a touch of an accent on Dominic to show that he's Ray's son. Ray can speak the way he speaks. I think Ray's first generation American, I'm not sure. But Dominic's born and raised in this country, probably won't sound exactly like his father does. It's put on, and for that reason, for me, it's a put off. That aside, this segment is just getting so old already. Aaliyah, is that her name?
Yeah.
Just get it over with already. Bang, do what you're going to do.
I'll ask you both because Chad is red from pain and laughing. What did you think about the Sasha and Bailey segment?
That was good. I will listen to them anytime they want to cut a promo. I don't know where this new hypersexualized Sasha's coming from. I don't think it works in this situation. Your best friend turned her back on you. I don't know why you're acting horny all the time, where that fits in. But it was good. I think Bailey's much better on the mic.
It was a good segment. Good to see some bitch emotion from Sasha. I liked the segment.
All right. And I don't know what else happened on SmackDown. What was the main event of it? Was that?
I would have to look. Lars Sullivan looked good.
Okay.
The ending shit was Uso and Reigns and
yeah.
Yep.
The only thing I got to say about this, and I kind of, after watching a couple of weeks, okay, we know Uso isn't going to win, obviously. I just wish, if you look at the passion, look at his eyes when he's doing this stuff, I think he could be a main player in a different time.
Yeah.
Like
just
70s?
The intensity that he has in the way, because if it was anybody but Roman Reigns, I could see them beating the fuck out of each other for 30, 40 minutes. But we know, it's Reigns. Reigns is going to win, but would have just been, I don't know, something I looked at seeing him.
Roman Reigns is a good guy. Kids love him, or they did up until his heel turn. Maybe they still do. I don't know. I don't know that there's anybody that can carry him. And, maybe, look, 3 right hands, a big boot, and a leg drop for 15 years, or however the hell long it was for Hulk Hogan. But watch him in Japan. And I know, Chad, you said he couldn't, if you tore both sides of a paper bag, he couldn't wrestle his way out of it. He has serviceable matches overseas. I don't know if Roman Reigns could do that because those days are over. He works for one company, and maybe he just does what they tell him to do. But this spear, sit around 45 seconds, punch, sit around 90 seconds. I just don't know that there's anybody that can carry him. To your point, yeah, Uso he's very good, and he could be a main event guy. I don't think even he, having grown up with this fucking guy, can carry him through a good match.
Let me ask both of you, because you guys have the demographic, because my son's 14 now, out of wrestling for a little bit, like we all have been. You have Vinny, you have Sylvan. Are they both done with Roman? Because I know, John, for a fact that Sylvan lived and breathed Roman. As soon as I would walk in the door, I was getting a Sylvan Superman punch.
Right. Have
it be to the face, to the nuts, anywhere. He would just decimate me when I come in the door first. Boom. And then he'd give me a hug. Hi, Uncle Mark. But are they both done with Roman? Chad, you go first.
Vinny, surprisingly, no, but his is shifted more towards ragging on his mom about fucking Paul Heyman being with Roman. Because he likes Roman as a dick more than he does as a good guy. He's just beating everybody up now, and he's got Paul Heyman with him. So he's kind of a little bit happy with this version a little more.
John?
He's still into him. Not as he's 10 now, not as much as maybe a couple of years ago, but he still wears his Roman Reigns shirt. He still wears his Shield shirt. Still loves the Shield. There's a part of him that I think is heartbroken they're not together, but he kind of gets the best of both worlds when he plays with his figures, because he's got, John Moxley, which is a different spin on Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. Yeah, he's still into him.
So they're still grabbing them then. They still know how to market them then. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to these predictions, because I want to know what the hell Chad's little tidbit is after the predictions. Only 5 matches announced as of 9:45 this morning, so they're just going to be thrown the way I have them written down.
Go for the bottom.
From the bottom up then, Chad says. All right, so we have Elias taking on Hardy. Elias's new album drops Monday night, so make sure you get on Spotify after you're done listening to Can Crushers and get the Elias album. This is the end of maybe him and Hardy having that car wreck 5-6 months ago, hopefully. I'm going to go first. Hardy, Elias returns. I think Elias is going to get the win.
I agree. Yeah, Elias.
Oh, man. I was going to say Elias. I almost want to go against you guys, but yeah, I got to go with Elias getting this one.
I think we're going to be...
Hardy's days might be numbered, too.
I think we're all going to be...
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think we're all going to be on the same page most of the way through this pay-per-view. All right, finish what you were going to say. Hardy's days...
I just feel like his days are numbered in WWE for no other reason than he's been around a long time, and probably time for him to move on.
Randy against Drew in a Hell in a Cell. I won't go first this time. Somebody can.
I am going to say Randy Orton.
I'm going with Drew.
Again, you and your boy. I put Drew. Your name is Chad.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I really do think it's time that Drew drops this damn thing. If it continues this for another, and we get another rematch or something at the next pay-per-view, which the next pay-per-view should be Survivor Series. It should be, but who the fuck knows? Yeah. Bayley, Sasha. So you already we have a title change. You do not yet. Bayley, Sasha, Chad, you start this one.
I think Sasha wins it.
John?
I agree.
So all of us agree. So, all right. Roman against Uso. When Uso loses, he's got to call Roman the tribal chief of the head table.
He's going to be the tribal chief version of Virgil.
Right.
Is what it's turning into.
None of us have Uso winning, right?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
And then, what should be the main event in Chad's book, this is for the Money in the Bank contract, Miz against Otis. Guys, I'll go first. I'd rather see this damn contract with Miz. So, if Miz gets the win, I don't care if it's a cash-in and he doesn't win, or it starts something with anybody else. This needs to end. This needs to end. It needs to be cashed in. Neither one of them deserve it, but I think it makes a little more sense if Miz wins and loses and it's okay. So this is where I lose the whole bet this week, but I'm going with The Miz.
I will also go with The Miz. I just wonder what the harebrained idea is behind this angle. Like, what does Otis have to gain? Like, you've earned this briefcase. Cash it in whenever you want. Why are you putting it up for grabs? What do you have to prove? What do you have to gain? Is he this stupid? Or I wonder if Vince was like, it's a bad idea putting it on this guy. Let's see if we can figure out a way to get it off of him.
Money in the Bank was the best pay-per-view this year so far, so I don't understand why not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go with The Miz on this one. I think that they expected something more to catch on with Otis by giving him the win. But now, what's he going to do? Is he going to turn and go? He ain't going to beat Roman. Is he going to go against Drew? No, it just makes... It doesn't make sense to put the fucking thing on him in the first place, but it makes more sense to hook a crook, have Mike Mizanan get it, and then, fucking get decimated in SD Jones at WrestleMania fashion in like 9 seconds.
They had every chance for Otis to say, hey, I'm going to use this on a tag team, but now they've broken them up. Yeah. One's on Raw, one's on SmackDown, so he can't even turn it in as a tag team match.
But now there's not saying that he can't. It's to say that they don't have him win it and say, turn it in as a tag team. I'm bringing him back, motherfuckers. They could pull that, but I don't know. I still see The Miz getting it.
In theory, it's good for any belt, right?
Is it?
I mean, could he? I don't know. Is it only like a world championship caliber belt, or can he even go after the United States title with it?
Any title. They made it a point with this one.
Yeah.
Any title. Because you remember they were talking about him giving it to love of his life, Mandy Rose.
For a
woman's championship at first. And then that just kind of...
Well, Sonya got...
Fizzled out. Yeah, what happened with Sonya
happened and that. Yeah. So the only thing separating us is Chad took Drew. The rest of the way, we're good. We're exactly the same, which never happens. So we're all going to really shit the bed, or you'll lose.
Oh, I'm going to win.
All right.
I'm going to continue the reign.
The glorious reign. All right. What's as we wrap this up, we're going to tease one more time. John, what do you got going on this week?
Do we want to talk about a couple of goodies you and I exchanged, Mark, through my brother who came to visit me?
Yeah.
The LJN book is out. Mark's got a physical copy. I have a physical copy shipped all the way from Australia. Again, seeing it on a computer screen and having worked on it was one thing. To have this physical item in your hands is really amazing. Brilliant, bright, popping colors, lots of great pictures, lots of great information. I don't know if you started to read it at all, Mark, but even before you get to the figures, there's so much good stuff in there about the history of the WWF, kind of from day one. I mean, it doesn't go through title by title and wrestler by wrestler or anything like that, but sort of the foundation and love him or hate him, Vince McMahon's vision, how he plucked wrestlers, how he plucked promotions before you even get into the figures. And then when you get into the figures, there's just so much great information about all the variants. Hulk Hogan with blonde hair, Hulk Hogan with blonder hair. Big John Studd's mustache is a little darker on this one. It's just every piece of information you can possibly imagine about that figure line. It is incredible. And I have an associate editor's credit in the book.
I flipped through it last night when I got home. I literally just flipped through it to look at the pictures, and I'm like, God damn it, if I get into this, it's going to be another, 4 o'clock in the morning type thing. So I flipped through it real quick, and John's right. The pictures are awesome. They really are. I can't wait to dive into this when my day is off this week and sit. And this is something that I just want to spend hours just drooling over.
And you easily could. It's a page turner. Even though, there's 2 pages dedicated to a figure, you want to flip the page and read about the next one. It's a fun book. And you can also turn to anywhere in the book. You don't have to start at the beginning. It's one of those books where you can start anywhere, and it's enjoyable. Mark, I love the comic books, man.
Yeah, you got those. You got the encyclopedia finally, and you got your wall placard finally after 3 months. And
those are some sweet business cards too.
Yeah, you to pass out. And your son's been bugging me for stickers. So, the mail could have gotten them there a lot longer ago, but I use Dumb Express, so it was easier.
It was one day turnaround.
Right, legit hours.
Yep.
1 day turnaround, 3 months later.
It was more than that. Not a lot happening with me this week, which is nice. Remember a couple weeks ago I said I was going to cut the grass? Never cut the grass yet. Now that it's October 25th, do I cut the grass or do I let it go until spring? Because it's not going to grow much more.
I'm in the same boat. I never got around to it either.
Should I cut it?
No.
Have you cut yours recently?
No. Yeah. And I'll tell you right now, with the weather we're supposed to have here this week, it ain't going to happen because we're only supposed to have a high of 52 this week until next weekend.
Oh, this is going to be moist. So I will be video gaming it. I'm going to yell out, Retromania needs to get their shit in gear and get their game out. I'm getting disgusted with them. We've had them on months ago, and the game was supposed to be out by July or whatever. Now it's just everything delayed. Retromania needs to get their shit together and get their game out because mine's been pre-ordered since March. I'm ready to go.
AEW needs to get their shit straight with their figures already. I can't tell you how many times I go to Walmart and the pegs are empty. Did I mention this? I asked a guy, young kid working there, super nice kid. He said, what I can do is show me where they are, and I can zap it and tell you when they're coming in. Because they had the pegs dedicated to him. And he zapped each peg, and then he would show, he's like, everything is showing up NA, meaning whatever, production date, ship date, estimated arrival. Everything's NA, not available. He's like, I don't know. He goes, my best guess is they'd be here for Christmas, but I can't say for sure because it's not giving me any information. So I don't know what's going on. There are AEW pegs at every Walmart, but they're empty.
All right, we've teased long enough. Here comes Chad's big announcement.
So
we're getting deer
vibrant colors and eye-popping things and stuff like that. You're going to kill me for this, but
oh no,
Chelsea Green. Have you seen what she has tweeted the last 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, her Hooters pictures.
Her Hooters calendar. Come on, guys. Support her.
Do you think I'm allowed to hang a Hooters calendar in here?
Get a calendar. She is donating. I seen last night on her Twitter, she is donating 20% of the proceeds to breast cancer awareness.
Oh, nice.
So, jokingly, I bring it up. She's smoking. Seen a couple of previews of the pictures, but this is going for a good cause. Donating 20%. So get on her Twitter feed, and you can find the address there for the calendars.
Nice. Are you feeling a little bit better? You're not as red.
I think my nut's laying all right, so I'm good.
All right. All right.
We're transparent here on Canada.
It started with
tell you how our nuts are feeling.
Started with me having a bad week last week. That's why I canceled the show, to Chad's nuts resting nicely on my bark lounger. That's great. That's great. Coming up in the next couple weeks, we're going to have a dual show as IWC has their homecoming. We'll talk about that more next week. And Full Gear, both happening the same night. So what are we going to watch? We're going to watch IWC. We're going to watch some pay-per-view Full Gear. Maybe we can watch both because we have a hell of a lot of technology in studio. So we'll have to figure out. Taking notes is going to be hard for me, though, on both because I'm stupid.
And I almost forgot about this. I'm glad you reminded IWC. Even with this, and pretty positive it's kidney stone and everything. Jock Sampson, you fat bastard, I could still beat you. You know, regardless of what my region is feeling like. So, put up or shut up, fat man.
All right, I got nothing else. John?
You shouldn't have said anything, because the cheater that he is, he'd probably go right for the nuts, Chad. You know there would be a nut shot in that match.
For sure.
That's true, but I could still take him.
Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, it's all at CanCrusher69. We didn't give the email out this week, which is unbelievable because you usually give it out 75 times. It's CanCrusher69@gmail.com. Go to collarandelbow.com, buy some shit, shirts, awesome, everything that they have. It's Can Crushers, all one word, capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers.
Did you see Al Snow's new shirt? It only comes in a 4XL or larger because they fit his 104 candle birthday cake on it.
Holy shit.
4XL or larger.
Wow. That's unbelievable. That's so you have to buy a tent.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, check us out everywhere. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, we're on it. And we continue to climb because we love Can Crusher Nation. We put this show on for you and to entertain us. And you guys continue to listen to us as well as the wrestling organizations because we give them everything they need. We give them storylines, they run with it.
Yep.
We need to be getting some royalties and stuff from
We really
this.
need to start getting some royalties from somebody. So nonetheless, just remember, just because you're trash,
it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can.
Not a garbage cannot.
Chad gave you a bad look. You thought he was going to take all of
Motherfucker
it.
took half of my line.